All right, today we are going to make some illusion art drawing with a little bit of scissor work. So all you need is a sheet of paper, preferably an HB, a 2B, and a 6B pencil, and a pair of scissors. And it wouldn't hurt to have a ruler. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I like to start with HB. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a block letter in the upper left-hand corner, not completely at the edge of either side, but up in this upper quadrant here. If you want to make it bigger, you can make it bigger. Just, we've got to be careful to make sure that the illusion is functional at the very end. So, I like to have my students start off with a letter of their name, either their first name or their last name, doing an initial. And it would be helpful to start off with a review of how to make block letters, okay? I will have up a block letter lesson as well. But this is, let's presume that you already know how to make a block letter and how to make it look dimensional. If you don't know how to make it dimensional, you're gonna learn that in here as well. The block letter is the most important part. So making sure that you can make the block letter look like a block letter and put it in the right spot. So clean sheet of paper, no other drawing on this whatsoever. We wanna just have a clean sheet of paper. Let's get that block letter, draw lightly. I'm gonna draw a little darker just so you guys can see it a little easier. But in the upper right hand or upper left hand corner, we're gonna go with a letter. I'm going to do, let's say I'm gonna do an M for Mr., since that's my first name. So again, I want you to draw lightly, but I'm gonna draw a little darker just so you can see it a little easier. Because we really don't want to see any lines at the very end, okay? So again, block, making sure that it's blocky, it's not just a stick letter. And we want to make this look like a good, solid block letter. And then afterwards, we're going to make it look dimensional. Okay, and dimensional is to make something look like it's almost in 3D, if you want to say that. If it looks thick, like it's a block of wood cut out into a letter, okay? So there's our letter M, or my letter M. And now what we need to do is we want to turn the paper towards us. So this point is pointing away from you. The point over here is pointing towards you, okay? So I'm gonna have the point right there, and we wanna check, just like perspective, if you watch the 1-point perspective video, perspective, we have to check our square, right? We have to check where all of our lines meet and where we need to take a line from or add to and where we don't want to. So the other part of this is 1-point perspective is the vanishing point was always at going away from you, okay? So the vanishing point is away from you. In this case, the vanishing point is us. We are the vanishing point, so we want to take our lines towards us. That's what helps with the illusion, because you have to look at this in a specific way. If you don't look at it, if you look at it from the wrong angle, the illusion won't happen. You have to be looking at it from wherever your perspective lines are, going to whatever vanishing point you choose, which in this case, because you want the viewer to look in this direction, your vanishing points need to be coming this way towards you, or your vanishing point is you. Make them all roughly the same size. If you want to use a ruler, you can use a ruler, but make sure that they are coming towards you. Okay, so we've got our lines drawn out. There are no other points. Double check your points. Can I draw here? No. Can I draw here? No. Can I draw here? No. Not unless I want it to be translucent, which I don't. We can't go here. This will be translucent as well, or transparent. No. So we've gone, all of our our lines that need to go to our vanishing point are made. Now we need to connect, basically play connect the dots. Okay, so in this case, we'll start on the left, work our way right. So this is a parallel line to that. Parallel, parallel. Okay, this, it's not gonna come this way because we have this line going this way. So we need to go parallel to that. Okay, this went off and this looks fine. Doesn't need to be stopped here and gone up because that would change the thickness of the block. So this one just runs off. This one connects to this one, parallel. And then this one, we're gonna make another parallel line. Okay, and then there's nothing else to do. We've got our block letter. So now that we've got our block letter, the next step is we need to create a shadow. To this, create a shadow that's the same size as just your block. Don't worry about the dimensional lines that you put in. We need to make another M underneath the block. If you need to draw the whole M underneath this to make sure you understand this, then draw the whole M through this. I'm not going to, because I don't want to have to erase any lines. But if you need to draw the M in here, draw the M. But what you want to do is you want to come down and you want to come over. So down from the top, over from the left, okay? So I'm going to start about right here and bring the bottom of my M down. And this thickness here is the same thickness here. We want that same thickness. We're gonna go up roughly the same height. And then we're gonna see that point come out about here. And then it's gonna go back up. And we gotta see it here. Over. So up from this is that point. Okay, so that's all I can see. I can't draw anymore because I can't see anymore. So if I wanted to continue this and draw sort of a ghosted image behind here just so I could see that I made another M, then you can do that. That's fine, that's up to you. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to erase any more lines. So I have the 2B, the 6B, and the HB. And the HB, I'm gonna go on the bottom. And and the other thing that we're gonna need, and I forgot to say, is we're gonna want a blending stub to make sure everything's nice and smooth as well. So take your time, shading, add your HB value, because this is gonna be a lighter value. Lighter value here. Okay, and then we're gonna go, this is the only place, just on the bottom facing down, I want the HB. Then I'm gonna use the 2B on the inside, facing me, or facing to the right. Make this a little bit darker. Don't push too hard. Again, we're going to smooth this out with our blending stub here in a minute. Make this the same 2B. Okay, I'm going to do the 2B up here. You always got to think of your light source. whenever creating something dimensionally, and then do 2B over on this side. The better value range we can get, the better off our image will look. We can get the distinct change in value. We can get a sharper image. In this case, hopefully a stronger illusion. And the biggest part is making sure that our vanishing points are vanishing, or our lines were going to the vanishing points. Otherwise, the illusion will be slightly off, if not way off. Okay, now I'm going to use my stub. I'm going to blend out the light ones first so I don't drag over anything dark to the light areas. I'd rather take a little bit of graphite to the darker areas. Smooth this out. Make that nice and neat. We'll clean up any areas in a minute. Try not to use an eraser that has residue that comes off, like the pink or white erasers. Try and use the kneaded erasers in this point, or in this exercise. That way we don't have to wipe our hand over to get rid of that residue. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up real quick. Use my kneaded eraser. Make a nice sharp point to it. Okay, now I'm going to use my 6B and get my shadow done. Really want that contrast, that bottom shadow. And we'll go over this with the blending stub as well. If you need to pause the video at any point, pause the video, get caught up, rewind if you have to. Okay, make sure the whole thing's cleaned up. Looks nice. The next step is very important because this is what's going to create the illusion. Okay, so far we've already got sort of an illusion going on, but it's not really that much of an illusion. So what I want you to do is you need to draw a line using an HB or a 2H. I'm going to go ahead and just use the thickness of my ruler because it lines up pretty good, but basically you just want to intersect with a portion of this, and then you want to come over here and intersect over here. We'll see how that comes out. So I'm going to use the thickness of my ruler, which is roughly 1 inch, and I'm going to draw a line from there to there, and then a line from the top. Okay. And then I'm going to turn my paper, and yeah, it looks like I'm going to be able to do another inch, roughly. Otherwise, measure down on each side and figure out, you know, how far down you need to go to get that straight line going across. And then I just want to create that line, nice straight line. You got to make sure they're straight. If they're crooked, it might not look that great. So here's where the illusion is going to start coming into play. So we need to cut on that line. Try to make sure that the line is not left over. If it is left over, we can always erase it. It's not a big deal. So we draw lightly and then cut right on the edge of your letter, intersect with that line there, and then we want to continue cutting around your letter, trying not to leave much of the pencil, and this is a good chance to straighten it out. Just cut that right off, and then you don't want to cut out your shadows. Okay, so don't cut the shadow out. Now I'm going to cut around my letter. Okay, and then cut around this part. Takes careful cutting. You don't want to go too far. And then you just need to cut all the way down your line. Again, keeping the line as straight as possible is pretty important for the illusion. Okay, so the illusion is already slightly taking place from this angle, but what we want to do is angle it this way and then get our eyes down. You get to choose, where do you think the best illusion is? Do you think it's there, here? You know, try and find that good spot where you think it's the best. Where is the best place to look at this? That's when you need to have it set up for the next person. Because like right here, maybe that's where it needs to be. I really don't think so. I don't think that's the best place. Your perspective lines is what's going to help this. So those lines that are coming towards you, those are the ones that are going to help this look like the best illusion. I almost think that my shadow is too tall up here. If I'm going to critique my own work, I almost want to say that my shadow might be too big. I'm not sure. Maybe my shading here on the sides is too light. But that's for you to decide. Do you think it worked or not?